Hello everyone, and here we are, the discussion that basically everyone is talking about. Well, as of I guess this week or these few last weeks, AI is coming. Well, it came really for some time now, but now more than ever, it's scarier than anything because it's in that phase where it's actually getting extremely scarily impressive. And I saw everyone talking about it, and I was like, hey, I can talk about it. I have a mic, so why not? So that was kind of the thought of this, but there was also one more thing. The fact that if you know, SORA is an AI that basically kind of blew everyone's mind in the last weeks. And that's mostly because of its extreme development. So if you're familiar with this video right here, which is the Will Smith eating the spaghetti and stuff, that is the first introduction to SORA, which was basically really bad. And everyone thought, oh, that's fine. AI is not that great yet. We have some time to actually chill until things get bad. Well, no more time. It's here, and it's only been 1 year. Actually, not even a year. It's been 11 months, really, since SORA did this. So, yeah, besides the fact that this is extremely impressive, it's also extremely scary. Now, why would I talk about it? Because I am a 3D artist, basically, for 1 year. And SORA has been training, basically, for 1 year, so let's do this kind of a little of an opinion of a guy that tries to learn this thing for the exact same amount of time AI tries to do it, and how does this really affect my, basically my morale? Because, I mean, seeing that such a tool really exists and it's basically developing so fast in such a short amount of time, it's definitely something that I did not expect, and I did not think I have to think about when I started learning this. So let's actually have a little bit of a talk on this subject. So first things first, let's talk about AI in general, because AI, again, is around for some time, and actually for a lot of you, I actually pull up some articles here, and actually, well, let's not have some ads there. But AI was, in our lives for some time, and I'm actually looking for the one that I read the first, which is it this one? It's not this one. Did I close? No, I didn't close it. It's this one. So the AI that actually broke the internet basically was ChatGPT, and I think everyone is pretty familiar with it. ChatGPT blew up basically, I think it was 2023, like the start of 2023, when ChatGPT really took over, and everyone was like opening their eyes because AI was really something to be reckoned with. But AI is here for more than that, of course. And ChatGPT actually, it's around since actually 2020, and it's been only 3 years basically, or rather 2 years, when ChatGPT basically evolved like crazy. And along with it, of course, other tools were really invented, and that's pretty scary, right? Well, it's scary and it's also good at the same time, because I personally do believe in technological advancement like this, and I am pro, for this kind of upgrades. However, we should also take in consideration that, just because we can do some stuff, maybe we should also think about doing them before that. Because I do think, and I actually saw the reaction of a lot of YouTubers, and a lot of artists, really, and not only, because every field will be affected by this, all right? 3D art is the main one that everyone is talking about, because basically this is what AI concentrated on the last few months, because yes, they evolved this so well in this area that it's actually kind of scary to think about everything. And it took people by surprise, but it's definitely all, you know, kind of, you know, every sort of, not genre, but like a branch of work will be affected in some sort of way by this advancement. And really, I'm going to talk from the perspective of someone that I don't need 3D. I'm not a 3D artist, like in a manner of this is my living. I'm not winning, I'm not gaining money because of this. And yes, I do still want to do this. I want to, you know, still become a game dev and all that. But really, for me, it's kind of the perspective of I try to learn all this time and then this shows up. So how does this really affect me, right? So let's not forget where this actually started from. Because this didn't start from SORA, right? SORA is something that is just new and it just blew everyone's minds away. But there are other tools that are actually were here for a little bit more time than SORA, and they were impressive for a little bit more time than SORA. And I pulled off an article that actually talks about most of them. And let's not forget that it's actually propping a text to actually bring you images that kind of started all this. And then from images to 3D, and then text to 3D, and now we're going, we also have, you know, for example, Alpha 3D, which is actually, you know, something that NVIDIA and Inception works on, is exactly that kind of, let's give me an image and I'm gonna make this a 3D. And actually I'm gonna pull right here, the example NVIDIA gives. So you basically just pull this and it gives you that exact, you know, 3D model. Now, granted, it's not really that boring because, as you can see, it's not a perfect model. It has difficulties, it has some sort of problems. The mesh is never gonna be perfect, and so on and so forth, at least for now. Again, this is something we all said about, you know, SORA and all the others a year ago, and I think we kind of moved a little too fast judging that. But basically, this is what Alpha 3D is looking like right now. So basically, we do have, you know, 3D models that you can just get out of pictures, which is insane. And I'm not gonna lie, it is still super impressive. But again, as you can see, it's not perfect 3D models. They do have some problems, but just because you can do this, this is still super impressive. And don't forget that this can do like real-time stuff, and there are advantages and disadvantages for people because of this. We're going to talk about that a little later on, but right now, I just want to kind of emphasize that this is a big development. So yes, I am a little scared of it as well, but I just can't get over the fact that just the fact that it can make this possible, like just accurately create you a 3D model from just one picture. It's crazy, and it's kind of good for some people, and there are a lot of ways this can help. But again, we'll talk about it a little later on. So right now, I just want to concentrate on apps like this, because again, these are not new. If you're familiar, there are actually apps that work kind of like this on your phone. Polycam is one such tool I used, but it's actually a little bit of a different tool, because actually instead of using AI, it's using kind of like an AR to basically give you a 3D model. So you don't actually do this. You don't give it a one picture and then AI will just do everything. No, you will take a multitude of pictures. I think if you're doing it for free, don't quote me on this, but I think it's 200 pictures for one object, and then you will create it. You will create a 3D model around it. Now, if you're a little bit familiar with 3D and you know, the cinematic world, especially, this is a process that was super used, especially in the super used even today in the cinematic world, especially, and it's scanning objects and just basically replicating them in 3D in super high detail. Now, again, the one disadvantage this really has is, well, actually, I'm gonna try to pull an. I do think I have one model that I did like this. Let me actually see if I can find it. But again, what I want to say is the one disadvantage this really has is the actual what's it called? The actual mesh. All right, so it's not well put together. It's super high detail, so this means you won't have a good poly count for, you know, being a game asset or whatever. And the mesh is definitely not made in quads or whatever, but that does not mean this is not impressive. And even if this is not in quads and everything, you can still model it afterwards, so you can play around with it and actually make that yourself, which is still taking a lot of the work out for you. And I'll be totally honest with you, it might give you better results than most of the things we could do. So I'm talking like most of the things you can do in, you know, kind of that amount of time. Because yes, this is impressive no matter how much we would like to avoid saying it. So I'm still trying to find that out, but I am pretty sure oh no, yeah, no, I found it. So, oh yeah, I have two of them, right? Okay, so I need to open Blender very quickly and show you this. But up until then, so now tools like this actually evolve to the point where you actually tell them even the mesh. So I will put a link in the description to a video made by, I think it's the Gym Master or a Default Cube. It's the same guy, but he has two accounts, and I'm not sure which account he posted it on. But basically, he shows one AI tool that basically creates 3D models, and actually you do tell it what, and it's text prompts. So it's not even images, you just put a text in and it just gives you whatever you want. And I think it's also counting the mesh. So the mesh is pretty good as well in that one. The models are not great, actually most of them are really bad, but the fact that they actually get to that point where they can create that, it's pretty scary. And they do kind of work for not so great models. All right, so I'm actually in Blender. So let me actually even teach you something about Blender. So a little bit of a tutorial if you want. To get an object to get in, right? It's not like you can drag it in probably. I never tried it to be honest, but what you normally want to do is go to File, either go to Import, either go to Append. But Append, it's really for blend files. Import is for files that is not, you know, Blender necessarily related. And usually the Polycam 3D models, if you have it for free, I think you can only save them as GLBs or GLTFs. But if you have the premium version, which means you have to pay a subscription to them, you can actually save it as an FBX, which is usually what you want to do. But GLB is pretty good for Blender because it can read it. So, you know, that's pretty fine. All right, so let me actually get to the... Where is it? Scanned items. Let's get this one. And here we are. And again, the mesh doesn't look too good on one side. It looks pretty bad because, again, there are some limitations to it and you have to be pretty, like, you need a lot of experience on how to use it, to understand how to make the pictures, how it can get a lot of detail. But look at this incredible detail. This is an absolute crazy detail model. The mesh is absolutely horrible, and actually if you pull off the statistic on, it's really bad. But again, you can remesh it, you can play around with it, and just for putting some like this in the background, it's gonna make it look make your scene look absolutely unbelievably good, with almost no effort whatsoever. So you don't really lose that much amount of time. And let's not kid around, it will take us way longer than to take some pictures modeling this, because this is super high fidelity and you cannot really get this so easily in Blender or in any program really without a lot of effort. So that's why AI tools are so impressive, and that's why, you know, the contender today basically, so the one I'm challenged by is SORA, which is a new one. And this is basically the first video that everyone is talking about, and it's absolutely unbelievable. This whole thing, this whole video is not filmed. Nothing here is real. Everything is created from text. And that's unbelievable. And if you want to understand why that's unbelievable, let me actually pull something here. So I'm pretty sure you do know about this video. Everyone talked about it. But this is basically the video. This is what SORA was able to do 11 months ago. That's horrifying, honestly. If this doesn't give you nightmares, I don't know what will. This is absolutely bad. But it is here. And also props to a robot named Roy because of this video. And again, from that to this, in 11 months, that's crazy. It's insane. So what do I mean by everything here is fake, basically? Well, the materials, the models, basically, every single thing. Now, models, granted, probably you cannot actually get these models and use them in anything else. So you can just prop the video, but like create just the video itself. So that's one of the limitations SORA probably has. I am not sure because it's not written anywhere if that's the thing. Well, actually, it is written that it generates videos out of text, but nothing else. You cannot get a models, just the video itself. But it's an almost flawless video. Like if you see this for the first time, you probably will believe, yeah, this is filmed. It's incredible. Like the way the reflection works. To me, this is the really crazy part. The neons, the reflections, and the materials on the street and the dirt and all those layers that we actually were talking about in our tutorials. It's absolutely crazy. Now, where SORA does kind of get things very wrong, and actually, this is something they talk about also, and it's right here. They do also talk about the fact that they cannot really get the physics right yet. So SORA is kinda doing this wrong, and this is a video they show how wrong that can get. And it's another video that it's showing right here. It doesn't understand how to put the location of the objects, and sometimes, like you can see, dogs will spawn out of nowhere for no reason. But actually, even in this video that is absolutely amazing right here, you can see kind of some mistakes. But again, you gotta pay attention. And that's the problem. If you're not aware that this is AI, you will not pay attention to this. Who will? Who will even know that, oh yeah, I should look to that? It's almost impossible. And what I mean by some mistakes is, so everything looks almost perfect until here. In my opinion, all these frames are almost flawless, but there are two things you have to look at. The hands. If you look at the hands, they move really weird, and they actually do look super weird. And here, right here, this movement is so trippy actually when she does this. So it's like she's floating a little bit and then sliding for some reason. And actually, if you do look around, it's almost like she keeps sliding on the road a little bit, because again, that's the physics that SORA is not able to understand. But here's, and again, here the hand looks pretty weird, at least to me. Maybe it's just me, but I think the hand looks super weird. And knowing that AI cannot still really do hands properly, I do think it's actually a problem that it has. But here's the crazy part, because yes, we're not getting into the crazy part yet. This right here is the moment my head was blown away. The reason is, you got reflections on the glasses. You got basically interaction between, you know, objects and stuff. And the absolutely perfect, absolutely insane detailed face. the pores, the imperfections, the makeup actually having, you know, a little bit of a deformation, and the hairs being like so perfectly made. This is insane. You need like absolutely crazy good artists to create something like this. And probably even they can get to this kind of realism without sacrificing, you know, a lot of, forget the time. Like, the time will definitely be lost, like probably months of work. But I'm talking also like a lot of resources, because you have to spend a lot of time. So that's why this is insane. Oh, and also the reflections on the earrings, because those being some sort of stainless steel or something, or maybe actually it's more like silver because it's jewelry, so I'm dumb. But still, those the foam, the reflections are not easy to create in 3D, trust me, and be able to do that, that's that's scary. But again, it does have limitations. There are some problems with it, but think about it this way. It's made in 1 year. From this here to this here, 1 year. And you can do much more than that. So this little animated thing, a lot of people did say this is kind of the weakest thing they showed. I don't really believe that's the case, because think about like a Pixar movie. I think this scene would actually be okay in a Pixar movie and no one would say a thing. And it's just text. That's insane. The fact that it can do that, it's insane. Also this here, this scene right here, again, absolutely insane. Yes, you can see people disappearing in the background, but if you don't look at that, which you won't really, if you don't know, you have to. This is absolutely unbelievable. Where's the quality? Oh, because that's how they offer it. Well, now, this is the part where it gets even crazier. I think this is what they get, not perfect, but absolutely downright perfect. And it's dogs. Well, not dogs, but animals in general seem to be something that SORA is absolutely perfectly creating. I honestly would not be able to say that this is AI. There's almost there. Well, to be totally honest with you, it's also not a lot of movement. And you can see like this fur here, it does look a little weird the way it's floating around. But I mean, you could say it's the wind or something. You would never actually think that this is not real. You'd think someone actually trained these dogs to stay like this, which is still crazy to me. The fact that it can do this. And it's crazy. Even this, to be honest, this is one of the things where it kind of got me to like, yeah, maybe this is a good thing, because I think this is so funny to just see and to be able to do this. And now, again, I can talk on and on about this, but basically it's just unbelievably cool what it can do and unbelievably scary. So also landscapes like this, if you see this, I honestly cannot really see imperfections. It's I did hear a lot of more people talking about it, more experienced people, and they kept saying that the water has some deformities that it wouldn't form, and I do believe them. Well, actually, yeah, here it doesn't really kind of make sense to be like this, but even so, I wouldn't see that. I saw this, and the first time I thought, oh, they just put the realistic stuff between all the SI stuff to just show you cannot see a difference. No, this is AI. This is all text. This here is text as well. And again, besides the fact that there are two pirate ships in a coffee cup, you wouldn't think this is not real. So yeah. So again, there are limitations to it. So let's talk a little bit about the limitations they have. So for the images to 2D, we kind of talked about. So actually, let's also talk about how AI does this, right? AI is trained to do this. And it's doing it with the fusion modeling, which basically what that means, and actually it's explained really well here, is the fact that basically it's taking a lot of data to train itself, right? So it takes a lot of pictures and trains itself to create stuff. But basically what it does is taking those pictures, destroying them, and then basically by using Gaussian noise, so basically what you can see, oh, I'm in a way, so let me just move right here. And this thing right here is the Gaussian noise. Basically using that, this is able to actually recreate, basically after destroying that set train data, it's putting it back together by using this. And now you can say, but why is that cool? The reason it's cool is because by destroying it and putting it back together, it understands how it can recreate it. And even more than that, how to alter it, to make it however it wants. So that's how it works, right? It's just taking a lot of data, destroying it, putting it back together, learning how it works, and then it just recreates it however it wants. And just by having enough information, basically, to train itself with, it's just able to, you know, recreate itself. I do recommend to read some articles on this, and especially Gaussian noise, and there was another thing. What was it? Gaussian distribution. Was it a Gaussian distribution? No, it was something else. It's a new way of basically taking environment. So basically it's what Bubbles does. And if you don't remember what Bubbles is, because I didn't talk as much as I did about Sora and the other stuff, Bubbles is basically another NVIDIA AI stuff. And basically what it can do, let me take this sound off. It's basically, it can take a video or pictures of a place and recreate that environment in 3D. And you might ask, well, why is that cool? Well, besides recreating a scene, basically, you can model that scene however you want afterwards, just like these guys are doing right here. So that's super powerful. Yeah, again, these all things come with their respective weaknesses as well, so it's not like it's perfect or anything. Sora, for example, being again the newest one and the one that stirred everything up lately, its main problem is the fact that, first of all, it can do only short videos, so 60-second long videos, that's about it. And if it stayed that way, I can actually say that it might be a cool thing. Because the way they are explaining it, right, it says that it's basically meant to help you either prolong a video. So basically, you create a video, you want to put a little more content there. You can create whatever you want with Sora to just put a little more of what you did, because it can take your what you did, learn from it, and, you know, do something else just like you did, but with, you know, less work spent, which is pretty cool actually. Also, it's also really good for, you know, marketing reasons. So doing advertisements that are actually short anyway, doing also, you know, little sketches for like a meeting where you have to present your work. This is the best way to do so. And yeah, so it can do this kind of stuff, which is cool. That's really good. I like that. But what are the consequences of this? And this is a part where a lot of people probably will not like. So this is basically the advantage and also disadvantages of using these tools. So the advantages, which are also consequences in some sort of way, is the fact that yes, people will be able to do more 3D and more videos and more, you know, art. Basically, people that don't know how to do 3D and maybe they just don't want to spend the time to learn it, now they can just do it by doing text or images or stuff, something that is way easier for them to do, which is fine. That's good actually. But there comes the second part to it. First of all, this opens up a lot of probability for crimes and illegal stuff. And you might say that this is kind of an exaggeration, but you have to think about it. And I'm sure you do realize that that is actually the case, because a lot of people, let's just, you know, not avoid saying it, they are not exactly the nicest people on earth. Actually, they are scumbags, and they will use any sort of way to basically get money, even if that means scamming you. And I'm pretty sure at least one of you watching, or maybe, you know, someone you know, has been scammed at some point in their life. Basically, this is just opening up an amazing way for them to do that. Because if you remember fake calls that, you know, might make someone an elder, you know, give money for some stupid reason, for the prince in Nigeria or whatever. Well, Now, this basically makes it way worse, because you can take this, make a video, and make a video of someone and then ask for ransom for that said person. Or make a video of an audio call using AI voice and ask for money from a member of their family. Or even worse, and it's actually been a case already with Taylor Swift actually imposing a lawsuit on someone that did porn with her face. So yes, that's another problem, and we all know there are a lot of sick people around that will actually, with absolutely no disregard for anyone's, privacy, just take pictures, whatever pictures they find online of a person, and just use those to train an AI to actually create porn with those set pictures. And actually, if you don't just take my word for it, it's something that the creators of SORA itself, so OpenAI, is actually talking about. And they do say that they have some, they should find some ways to stop this. So again, creating videos of violence, gore, sexually explicit material, derogatory depictions of groups of people, and other hate imagery. So they know this can happen. And the problem is, there's not really a way to stop this. At least not at this point. There's not really a lot you can do about it. And they do have this watermark that apparently should be there to just know that AI exists and that this is made with the AI, but I'm pretty sure someone somewhere will find a way to get that to get rid of that. And even if somehow you do lock all those, you cannot do gory stuff or violent stuff or sexual stuff in there, someone will definitely be able to unlock that and do it. And that's the scary part, because that's when you get in the realm of, is this even moral and good for society, really? Because you do come to the point where you say, kind of what I said in the beginning, if you can do something, should you really do it? Because here's another problem. AI is cool and all, but the problem is we have no ways to control this, and the moment this will spread out, and by the way, they do say that SORA might actually be, where was that? Is not yet specified a public release date, but it's likely to be in 2024. So whenever they can, probably maybe in the second half of this year, they might actually release SORA to the public, and in my opinion, that is going to be if they don't find any regulations, which I do not think that they would, because I'm sorry to say it, but most of the countries have, governors or, leaders that are not really aware of AI. But to be honest, a lot of young people today don't really know a lot about AI, and a lot of old people, like your parents, my parents, and let's not talk about our grandparents and all that, they will have no clue what AI is. And because, of this not misinformation, but basically this lack of information about this is already a problem. And the fact that it's hard even for someone that does know about AI to know if this is real or not, it's really bad, because really you cannot even trust what you see or what you hear. Now you have to basically trust only what you know for sure that you've been there to assist to. But honestly, it's really bad. And this is one of the bad parts that might come out of this. The second bad part is, and it's again something that a lot of people talked about, it's what will happen to basically a lot of jobs, especially in the 3D world. Because here's the problem. This has been, as I said, this will, go into a lot of other branches. But for now, the main interest apparently has been 3D and, videos and games and stuff like that. And that's scaring a lot of 3D artists and a lot of people in general, because they cannot really compete with this. And there's a problem, all right? Because first, either the market will have to go super down, like people will have to ask insanely low amounts of money to do stuff just to keep their job. And even then, probably they will not be kept, because here's the problem. Who is doing all this AI stuff? corporations. What do corporations do usually? Well, they will assess what's relevant to the company, what is not, and whatever is not really that relevant will get rid of to make more money. And the problem is people are the first thing that come to mind, because when AI shows up and basically is able to take over, your work, that's a problem. Now, the reason I'm saying that this is still not that bad, it's because, again, if they keep it like this, like 60-second videos, kind of bad models, it's fine because you still need the artists, but it's still going to affect people in some sort of way, because a lot of people will probably still have to lose their job, which is really unfortunate. And yeah, that's really bad. And also, I'll be totally honest, I don't understand why is this even so concentrated on like videos, because other than making faster stuff, the main object seems to be, let's take people jobs away from them. Because other than that, and yes, you can say, well, you have to evolve and stuff in technology and everything. That's true, but again, you will affect so many people with this. I don't think that's exactly the greatest thing ever. Especially because I don't think anyone has a plan on how to do anything after this. So that's kind of an issue if you ask me. So really, my opinion on this is that this is not a bad idea, but I think it's just concentrated really bad on like the bad parts of it. And unfortunately, I do think there are going to be a lot of, moments where people will have to adapt to this, which is gonna be hard. Another thing is that I think AI is really cool in a lot of other places, and I don't understand, again, why it's not concentrated there a little more. And the places I'm talking about is optimization, really. Those things that people actually hate to do. Why doesn't AI actually concentrate on that? So here's one thing that I want AI to do. Retopology. And I am pretty sure that there are not going to be a lot of people that will scream at the screen when they hear this. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone wants to get rid, or at least to ease up the retopology, way for anything, really. How about optimization of UV maps? How about UV unwrapping itself? Again, I think that's something perfectly created for AI to do, and yet no one concentrates on that part. And another really good thing, and actually something that they did work on, granted, that's AI conversations, kind of, like in games. It's what I'm talking about, all those RPGs that have this random events, and you can actually talk to random people, random NPCs and stuff. AI is perfect for that, again, because it can just generate text and it can just generate dialogue out of nowhere, and it's perfectly made for something like this, and yet we're not concentrating enough on that side of things. So that's the part that kind of bugs me a lot, is why is AI so concentrated on the things that actually people already do? And I think there are a lot of talented people and a lot of people that do this for, I would say, not that much of an amount of money. So again, besides actually maybe saying, okay, we ease some people's work, you're also taking a lot of people's work, and I don't really understand why that has to be when you can actually do something else that everyone probably would agree that, yeah, that's fine, just do it, just take that away. But, leave this to everyone else, because, yeah, that's it. And again, if we talk about the, let's give, more artists the way to express themselves, right? Because again, people don't like maybe to 3D model and stuff. So let's give people the way to actually create models without having to do that. I'm fine with that. But then I come also with a question. So why don't we do an AI that does retopology and, stuff like that? And actually, wait, is there one? Maybe it is and I'm just dumb. So apparently, yeah, well, It's just things people do talk about and hope maybe to be. Yeah, is anyone working on an AI and retopology? Yeah, so this is the thing. This is the thing. No one's really working on this kind of stuff, and I don't understand why. This is definitely something people would hope to get away from. And again, if they want so much to actually just help people create stuff, why don't you just take this away? Because it's clearly annoying, it kills a lot of time, and it's also like not exactly an artistic stuff. It's more like of a a technical side of the things. So I don't know. This is my opinion. I just think AI has to concentrate a little more on those technical stuff rather than all these other crazy things. I just think people should be left to be as artistic as they can be and will want to be, instead of, okay, let's just recreate art that other people do and then call it different. Yeah, I am not a fan of AI art, I'm not gonna lie. And as for my opinion and my stance on this, is this really taking me down and take my moral down? No. I mean, yes, it's definitely, shaken me a little bit, and, it definitely worried me a little bit when I heard it the first time, but I'm not going to cry around about it. And I don't think you should either. I think we will be okay. I think we will adapt to this somehow. And again, I am talking from a little bit of a privileged point where, again, this 3D art stuff and modeling and stuff is not my main source of income, which is pretty great. But I mean, I still have my normal job, which is in the engineering and all that. But, for someone that works in this area, I do understand the panic and stuff, but I think everything is gonna be fine in the end. I do think people will find a way to fix this, because it's just, I don't see, an end of this where, AI will just do everything. I just don't think that will be the case. And for those that, might have been, taken a little sad because of this, this video, this is not for that. This is just to kind of, well, first to talk about, because everyone does, and I want to be part of the group, why not? And secondly, really, just to bring a little bit of a notice to about AI, because, it's more of an interesting stuff to me, and I'm really curious of your guys' opinion on AI and how you guys think that this is all evolving, and what do you think will happen, really? So really, please actually write this in the comment, like, what's your opinion and your stance on this? And don't get me wrong, if you do like AI art and if you're doing it, it's fine. It's actually great. I do follow some AI artists and I think they do a fine job, but I just don't find it particularly amazing. I'm way more amazed by people that actually create everything by themselves. That's just something that I like a little more, and yeah, that's me. So, with all this being said, I'm sorry for blabbing all this time. I did say it's gonna be a bonus video, and here it is. So thank you so much for watching, if you watched till the end. And as a conclusion, just, again, don't be taken out by this. Still, you should follow whatever your dream is to do this, or because it's just cool. I will definitely do this. I still want to become a game dev, and even more so actually because of this. Like, because of this, I just want to do this even more, to kind of prove that, yeah, I can still probably do a better game than a computer can. Which, saying it out loud sounds pretty stupid, but I will try it. Why not? What do I have to lose? A job? A life? I got none of those anyway. Well, I do have the job and I hope I'll still have it, but, definitely I don't have a life, so that's fine. So, with all this being said, actually, thank you so much again for watching, and if you want, please subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to do a lot more videos, maybe some, just talking with you guys about topics that I'm interested in. Tell me if you actually like this, and please actually tell me if you would like me to move this, to a different channel or something, and just keep this for only Blender stuff. But I just thought it's an interesting topic to talk about, especially because it is in the realm of 3D anyway. Yeah. Thank you again so much, and if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you want, subscribe to the channel for more content such as this. Please, again, share me your thoughts on this subject in the comments below, and with all this being said, I wish you guys an amazing Friday, and I hope you're out from work by this point, and also have an amazing weekend. Bye, guys.